exists in this world we call civilized. A system where men and women, even after they have paid the penalty of the law and exploited their offenses in full, are hounded and persecuted wherever they go. There will be a need for this story to be told. For 10 years in the late 18th century, France had been at war with itself. The rich fought for land and power, and the poor battled for bread and dignity. And while land changed hands and power shifted, the poor remained hungry and downtrodden. This is the story of one of the poor. His name, Valjean.
Jean Valjean, remember, in this court of law you are guilty until you prove yourself innocent. You are accused of stealing a loaf of bread. What say you to this matter?
But, Your Honor, there was no work. I had no money. I took a loaf of bread, only one. But my sister, she was a widow with 7 children. I had to take care of them. I would not have taken the bread if it were not to care for them.
You are sentenced to 5 years in prison.
For a loaf of bread?
Ben, take him away!
But, Your Honor, my sister and her children, what is to become of them?
That is not our concern. Next case.
Valjean labored in the following years to pay his debt to society. But like so many others who were forced to leave family behind, he attempted escape to find and care for the ones he loved. But each time he was caught and his sentence increased. Valjean served 19 years before he was freed from the cage which held him so long. On a dismal day in October of 1850, Jean Valjean set forth to wander his country, looking for a place to appease his hunger and to lay his head.
I would like some supper, and then some lodging.
I cannot receive you.
I have money.
I'm sorry, I cannot receive you.
Are you afraid I will not pay? I'll pay in advance. I tell you, I have money.
You have money,
Yes.
but I have no room.
Well, put me in the stables.
I cannot.
Well, then a corner in the garret, a truss of straw. We'll see about that after dinner.
I cannot give you any dinner.
I am dying of hunger. I have walked since sunrise. I am at an inn, and I am hungry.
I have nothing.
Nothing? And all that?
All that is engaged.
I am hungry. I am at an inn, and I shall stay.
Go away. Shall I tell you your name? Your name is Jean Valjean. Now, shall I tell you who you are? You are a thief. It is my custom to be polite to all. So I shall simply say, go.
Where am I to go?
A hammer and chisel broke the iron chains that bound Valjean, but the invisible one that held him was not as easily broken. Valjean paid the price for stealing bread, but now he must pay the price for a greater crime. His name. Valjean is a splinter in the impoverished mass of humanity that populates every city, village, and countryside. A man of the lower class, who despite how hard he labored, was not allowed to raise himself out of the dung heap from which he sprang.
What do you want?
I want supper, and then a bed.
You have money to pay for it?
Yes, I have plenty.
You are not welcome here. You'll have to clear out of here.
I'll pay in advance.
We do not take your kind here.
Keep me out of the other inn.
And I'll turn you out of this one.
Where would you have me go?
I don't care, but you'll not stay here. Go!
Go. Where am I to go? Where's there a place for me? For 19 years, my country gave me a wooden pallet and a sword back. And now, I'm not even permitted to share a bed with a horse. For 19 years, my country gave me a crust of bread, stale water, and sickness from it. And now, food is refused to me even with my coins upon the table. Where is compassion? Where is kinship? Where is home? You don't belong anymore, Jean Valjean. Neither in prison, nor the world. Then why did you have me live? Have I not suffered enough for love of my family? For following your command? Why, God? Why have you forsaken me?
What are you doing there, my friend?
Can you not see, my good woman? I am trying to go to sleep.
Upon the bench?
For 19 years, my country gave me a wooden mattress, and tonight I shall have a stone one.
You have been a soldier then?
Yes, my good woman, a soldier,
Why don't you go to the inn?
because I have no money.
Not my lodging if you have no money. Unless you only foresee my curse.
For your kindness, I shall take them.
You cannot find lodging for so little in an inn, or cabin side. You cannot pass the night so. You must be cold and hungry. They should give you lodging for charity.
I have knocked at every door.
And at every door.
Everyone has sent me away.
You have knocked at every door?
Yes.
Have you knocked at that one there?
No.
Then knock there. The only house in the whole village without a lock. I've always said it would be a regrettable omission. And look what's happened. Of course I knew it would happen. I've always said it would happen, and I was right. How burdensome to have such an intuitive spirit. What are you talking about, Madame Manuel? In all my years of working for the bishop, how many times have I told him to put a lock on this door? Countless. But does he listen? No. Never once. I have to listen. What has happened that makes you so certain that he will change his mind? There was a criminal, Mademoiselle Baptiste. A dark and evil criminal roaming the streets of our peaceful little village. I heard it in the marketplace this very afternoon. A criminal? Yes. A criminal has been set free from the prison. A dangerous one, I'm sure. After all, did they come any other way? He's roaming the streets of our peaceful little village. He's been set free, you say? Yes. Then he isn't a criminal anymore. Oh, Mademoiselle, you're too young to understand. They that are born criminals die criminals. It's horrifying. I'm going to ask the bishop if he'll let me call for the locksmith tonight. You know my uncle won't allow a lock or a bolt on the door. Well, he's a fool if he doesn't lock the door, at least while there's criminals in our village. And I'll tell him so myself.
And what is it you want to tell me, Madame Nicole?
Oh, Monseigneur, with all due respect, maybe you'll listen to me now.
I listen to you all the time.
In all my years of working for you, how many times have I advised you to put a lock on this door?
I've lost count.
I've always said it would be something you'd regret one day, and now that day has come.
Well, thank you for informing me of my doomsday. It's very kind of you to do so.
Laugh if you will. But there is a criminal on the loose. A barefooted, evil, gypsy beggar. He's dangerous! And he could break in here in the middle of the night, seeing there was no lock on the door, come in here, rob you blind, and murder us all!
Really?
Most assuredly, Monseigneur. I have an innocence about these things. I'll call for the locksmith now. He can fit a lock for the door.
My dear Madame, You have a lock on your door, and Mademoiselle has a lock on her door. You'll both be safe.
But what about you? And your goods? You could come in here and steal your clothes with a silver!
I won't worry about that. My door is always open to anyone in need of shelter.
You've been very kind, madame.
Farewell.
Well, what's one more door slammed in my face?
Your door is always open indeed. You simply say, come in, to any bit of rabble that comes knocking.
Come in.
My name is Jean Valjean. I was a convict, spent the last 19 years in prison. And I've been free as of 4 days ago. And I have been walking to someplace. When you went in, I have money, my savings, 109 francs and 15 sous that I earned on the chain gang over those 19 years. I'm hungry. Will you give me something to eat? Will you let me stay?
Madame Mademoiselle, set another place at the supper table, please.
Look, do you not understand? I'm a convict, fresh out of prison. Here are my papers, yellow as you can see. That's enough to have me thrown out of anywhere that I go. Read it. Here is what they put on my passport. Jean Valjean, a liberated convict, has spent 19 years in prison, 5 years for burglary, and 14 years for attempted escape. The man is highly dangerous. And there you are. Everyone else has thrown me out. Will you instead take me in? Will you give me something to eat? A place to sleep? Do you have a stable?
Madame Magloire, set some sheets on the alcove bed.
Yes, Monseigneur.
Monsieur, you must be cold. Please sit and warm yourself.
You mean I can stay?
We are about to have supper in a moment, and your bed will be made while you eat.
You won't send me away?
Our food and home are humble, but our welcome is from sincere hearts. We hope you'll be comfortable.
I am a convict. But you call me monsieur. And don't shout, get out, dog, like everyone else. I thought you would send me away. And so I told you who I was right away to save trouble. I shall have supper and a bed like other people with a mattress and sheets. You are really willing for me to stay? You are good people. And I have money. I tell you, you are a fine man. I beg your pardon, Monsieur Innkeeper. What is your name? You are an innkeeper, aren't you?
I am the priest who lives here.
A priest? Then you don't want any money. You are the priest of this big church? Yes, that's it. How stupid I am. I didn't even notice your robes. You are kind, Monsieur Cure. And a good priest is a good thing, and a good priest wouldn't expect me to pay.
Keep your money. You said 109 francs, I think.
And 15 sous.
$109 francs and 15 sous. How long did it take you to earn that?
19 years.
19 years.
Yes, 19 years working in the galleys. I've never been in the house of a priest. There was a chaplain in the galleys. And one day a bishop came from Marseilles. Monsignor, they called him. He's a priest over other priests. Of course, you know that. My understanding about these things is bad. He came and said mass where we were. I tried to listen, but he was so far away I couldn't understand it.
And that's what the church is. All of it. So far away from us. Madame Manuel, you may serve dinner at any time.
I will help, Uncle.
Be sure to use the silver. We have a guest. And Madame Manuel, be sure to put Monsieur's plate as near the fire as you can. The night wind is raw in the Alps. You must be cold, Monsieur.
Yeah, yes I am.
Sit here, please. Beautiful, isn't it? Any of these pieces have been in my family for generations. Could you please place the candlesticks on the table?
The silver candlesticks?
Of course.
Of course.
Monsignor, you are good. You have taken me into your home. You have lit your candles for me. All of this, and you know who I am and where I've come from. You know how miserable I am.
You didn't have to tell me your name. This is not my house. It is Christ. It does not ask any guest his name, but whether he has an affliction. You are suffering. You are hungry and thirsty. You are welcome. And don't thank me. Don't tell me I'm taking you into my house. This is the home of no man except the one who needs a refuge. You are more at home here, a traveler, than I, and whatever is here is yours. Why would I need to know your name? And besides, before you told me, I knew it.
You knew my name?
Yes, your name is my brother. You have suffered a great deal.
The ball and chain, the red tunic, the plank to sleep on, the heat, the cold, the lashings, chain, double chain, solitary confinement. For one word. A dog is happier 19 years than I. I am 46 now, and I only own what is on my back and the yellow passport.
Yes, you have left a place of suffering. Let's listen. There will be more joy in heaven over the tears of a repentant sinner than over the white robes of 100 just men. If you are leaving that place of suffering with hatred and anger against him, you deserve compassion. If you leave it with goodwill, gentleness, and peace, you are better than any of us.
I have left it with hatred. And as for compassion, heaven has forgotten me. You are kind, Monsignor. But as for repentance, there is not a heart left in me to repent.
God feels what a man lacks. Sit, my dear. Let's not wait any longer for supper. Madame Manuel, where is your place?
I will take my meal later.
Then let us give thanks. Our Father in heaven, we thank thee for all thy blessings, for sending Monsieur Valjean to us on this night of his need. May we be truly grateful for what you have placed before us. Amen. We may need more bread, Madame Manuel.
Indeed.
Very efficient. Very efficient.
I'll have to put up more dough for breakfast.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll find some clean clothes for Monsieur. Perhaps we could hang yours by the fire overnight to dry.
are you smiling at me? Or are you laughing at me, thinking how like an animal I am? 19 years in prison, and you can forget how to be a human.
I suppose anyone so hungry wouldn't think about table manners. Besides that, we don't stand on formality here. We are a simple people. What matters to us is that we make pleasant the times that travelers spend with us.
Are you not afraid of me?
No.
How do you know that I'm not a murderer? How do you know that I won't murder you, a fine young thing like yourself?
I don't know that. Do I?
She seems to think so.
Perhaps. Some people fear what they do not know.
Do you not have fear of the unknown?
Sometimes, but I try not to let fear rule my heart, but instead charity and kindness.
Sometimes fear is the only thing keeping men alive and fighting.
Madame Magloire, I think Monsieur Valjean needs some more goat's milk.
More indeed. I only have enough left for the bishop's warm milk he has before bed each night.
I'm sure he won't mind this once.
I'm sure if I brought it up to him, he'd give it away all the same. You know, I can't fight the both of them, but if the bishop can't sleep tonight because it hasn't had his bowl of warm goat's milk,
Thank you, Madame Magloire. That will be all.
that will be all.
She's very devoted to my uncle and me.
You know, you remind me of someone that I knew a long time ago. She had a likeness very much like your own.
Was she someone you love?
Love is the ruination of man.
Or the gift of God? What was her name?
Her name was Jean. She was my sister. I don't know what happened to her. It was all a long time ago. My sister, Jean. I was devoted to her. She was several years older than I, and she raised me after our parents died. And when I was finally old enough, she went and got married, and she had 7 children in the next 7 years. They were beautiful. And then one day, her husband promptly died. I tried my best to take care of Jean and her children, but there was never enough. Many a night would go by where I wouldn't be able to provide food for them. Sometimes 2 or even 3 days at a time. I looked at Jean, once a young, beautiful girl, now carrying more years on her face than she had lived. Her hair had long lost its shine, her clothes nothing but rags that hung upon her gaunt figure, and her eyes, they told the pain of her difficult life. And then that night, her face wetted by tears, as she clung to her youngest babe, unable to give him milk. I thought of how well she had taken care of me when I was a boy, and how I could not do the same for her now. Oh God, how angry I became. I swore that I would lie, I would cheat, I would steal, I would murder for my Jean and her children. They would not go hungry another night, not while there was breath left in my body. That night I stood before the barred windows of the bakery, captivated by the assortments of breads and cakes that lay untouched just beyond the glass. My face, it grew hot with anger, my brain seared within my skull, my fist clenched in rage, and I thrust my arm through the window, shattering it, and took hold of a loaf of bread. I I stood stunned, but just for a moment as blood trickled down my hand and arm. I saw the light of a lamp in the bakery. I heard shouting. I ran, but not in the direction of home. I ran into the woods, into the darkness, away from the light. I could hear the shouting of a policeman behind me. Stop! In the name of the law. The law. I wouldn't stop. I came past the edge of town. I thought I would get away. But then by my fate, I tripped over a rock, a branch, a snare, I don't know. I fell hard. And the blood-soaked bread flew out of my grasp. I didn't have time to look for it. I struggled to get to my feet, but I wasn't fast enough. They seized me. And then 19 years. I ended up spending 19 years in a prison for a loaf of bread which I did not eat. For a loaf of bread which did not feed the children. They put an iron collar around my neck. They took me from my family, my life, and they took away my name. I became number 24601.
What happened to your sister? The children?
Who knows? What becomes of a handful of leaves as a young tree has fell? No one knows what happened to them. I suppose they were forgotten, like everyone else in society these days. Forgotten by society, by their neighbors, by the church. And after a few years in prison, even I forgot them.
Surely you haven't forgotten them.
I tried 3 times to escape prison, and each time I was hunted down like an animal and caught. Each time increasing my sentence. I couldn't escape prison, and so I had to escape them and forget. Because you see, my dear girl, I went into prison crying and trembling, but I soon became hardened, and now nothing more than a beast.
But you're not a beast.
You are wrong, my dear girl. I don't know much about God and his ways, but I do know that the beast, there is no salvation for him. The beast is doomed to eternal fires. There is no salvation for the likes of me.
You should do fine.
No, I won't take them. You have treated me all too kind, Monsignor Cure, but a bed and supper is all that I ask for, and that is all I shall take.
I shall put them in here when you will sleep, and if you should want them in the morning, they'll be yours.
I think I will retire for the evening, Uncle. Good night. Good night, Monsieur Valjean. Thank you for supping with us. There are no mere words that can be a salve for what you have lost. Tonight, I will pray that God may grant you peace.
She's a lovely girl, isn't she? Her parents died when she was quite young. She's been a blessing in my old age.
The dough's been put up. There'll be no food tonight, Monsignor. It was all used up at supper.
That is quite all right.
I'll put up the silver and then take my leave.
Thank you.
I shall take my leave as well.
You will sleep in here. It should be comfortable.
I have slept on a wooden mattress for 19 years.
A good night's sleep to you. In the morning, you'll have a cup of warm milk to drink before you go. You'll have some fresh.
A million you willing for me to stay? How do you know I'm not a murderer? How do you know I will not murder you?
How do you know I will murder you?
It's a foolish thing to do, letting him sleep in his house. I'll lock my door tonight, and Mademoiselle's also.
You may lock your doors, but I assure you, he will bring no harm to any of us.
And what of the other silver candlestick?
We'll see.
We'll see. Good night, Mademoiselle.
Have I placed temptation before this man and showing him hospitality? God be with him tonight. Let him know that he can have peace, and that his soul can be renewed by your love. Forgive my feeble attempts of showing that love. Amen.
Jean, where are you, Jean? I've searched for so long. Jean! I must forget her. I must forget her and the children.
John Valjean, where are you? Dear brother, you're lost and hungry. We have been searching for you.
Jean, is that you?
It's cold and lonely. Children, they weep for you.
Jean, I'm here now. I'm free to take care of you.
Please, remember us.
Oh, I remember you. Oh, of course. Oh, wretched fate that tore us apart.
Madeline's died, John. The others are ill.
No, Jean, no, not my Madeline. Oh, God, your wickedness, no.
John, come back. Come back to us.
Jean! Yes. Go, Jean. Go far away and take your memory from me. Go.
Monsignor? Monsignor, come quickly! Monsignor!
I'm here.
Do you know where the silver basket is?
Yes,
Oh, God be praised, I didn't know what would become of it.
here it is. I found it in the garden this morning.
But where's the silver? It's empty!
Ah, it's not the basket that concerns you. It's the silver.
That man stole it. Monsignor, that man has gone. The wretch, he stole the silver!
Now, my dear Madame Magloire, first, did this silver really belong to us? For too long, I have been holding it within my heart. It belonged to the poor. And who is this man? A poor man, quite clearly.
Ah, but Monsignor, it makes no difference to me, nor Mademoiselle. But what is Monsignor to eat off of?
Don't we have any pewter cutlery?
Pewter smells.
Well, then iron.
Iron tastes!
Well, then wood and bliss.
Good morning, Uncle. Good morning, Madame Magloire. A disagreement already, so early in the morning.
We were deciding what table we'd use for breakfast.
Don't you always use the silver?
The silver is gone.
Gone.
It was stolen by that criminal.
Was it?
It was given to a poor man.
Given, indeed. Then why did he take it and run off with it in the middle of the night?
But Uncle, that silver's been in the family for years. Many of the pieces had great sentiment attached to them.
The sentiment will always be here, my dear. I'm glad to have been able to release the silver from my heart and give it where it will do more good.
Do more good? That silver will be used for nothing but evil. A little drink, loose women, that silver will be gone in no time.
My prayer is that he will use it to start a new life.
Do you think Daddy will?
He is evil. There is no changing the likes of him.
I have faith in God, who has purchased his soul already for heaven. My hope is that the silver will purchase his heart and mind and soften the hardness.
Oh, look. Uncle, the candlesticks are still here.
Oh, so he left the candlesticks. I'm sure it wasn't because he overlooked them. Not out of his generosity.
Out of all the pieces you had, Uncle, I think I would miss these the most.
Yes, they are beautiful, like the other pieces. But what good do they do sitting on the shelf?
You put candles in them and they give you light!
But a clay candle will give the same light. I'm quite content with their function and simplicity.
All this talking, you've been robbed, blind, you should inform the police! They could still catch me, Captain Bonfire, they can get back your silver!
Come in.
Aha!
Monsignor, we caught this man early this morning running from here. We found he had the silver with your crest on it.
Jean Valjean, I'm so glad to see you again.
But Monsignor,
You forgot to take the 2 candlesticks I gave to you. They're worth at least 200 francs. Sergeant, did you bring him here so that you might collect the candlesticks? Didn't he tell you I gave him the silver?
he said so, but when we found him, he was acting like a fugitive, so we arrested him. After all, he had a yellow passport. When we saw the silver on him,
And he told you it had been given to him by a priest with whom he was kind enough to sup with, and in whose home he passed the night.
yes, Monsignor.
Thank you for bringing him, Sergeant. Monsieur Valjean, you left so early. I'd hoped to have a cup of warm milk with you.
Well, if this is true, then I'll let him go.
Please do. Thank you, Sergeant. You do your job well.
Good day, Monsignor.
You mean I'm free? You won't send me back to the galleys?
I can't lock you up or free you anymore, for God has already freed you. Here. Take these.
You're giving those to me?
Life is to give, not take, Monsieur Valjean.
But they are of great value.
Silver is of no value next to the worth of a man, Jean Valjean. And if you come again, please, use the front door. It is welcome to open all. You needn't come through the garden or climb through the window.
Thank you, Monsignor. when you've lived in hell for so long, you stop thinking that there's any good in this world. But you've given me my life back.
And as you have been given to, please take this silver and give to others. Jean Valjean, my brother, you no longer belong to evil, but good. Your soul has been bought by God. Withdraw it from dark thoughts and from the spirit of evil, and give it to your fellow man. God be with you, Valjean.
Valjean left the bishop's house, never to return. He was prey to a massive emotion. He was angry without knowing at whom. He could not have said whether he was touched or humiliated. There came, however, within him, a strange relenting of the hardening of his past 20 years. As he walked away, he wept bitterly, more powerless than a woman, more terrified than a child. But the eyes of heaven saw the heart of Jean Valjean melt away, and a new heart of kindness and compassion take its place. Valjean never forgot the kindness shown him by the bishop, and for the rest of his life, kept the silver candlesticks as a reminder of that light shown him by the bishop. And as for the bishop, each time he saw a kindly man taking pity on children or giving a hand to needy, he smiled that this might be Valjean.